Hey guys, what's up? It's Friday. And that was really loud. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell it at you. Yeah, I think you know what day it is. We know, Rachel. We know. It's Friday. Trump is your president. It's January 24th, 2025, and we are ready to make America great again. That intro video, I got to work on the intro because, I don't know how to widen the screen on the intro video. I'm not a tech savvy person. Okay, we're going to talk about tech in a little bit. But so I was like, okay, this time I'm going to hide behind it. And then I got thirsty. And so then you saw my hand and it just didn't look right. And I'm sorry. I'm a one-man show over here and I don't have anybody to tell me how to widen the intro video. Somebody's fired. I'm going to fire someone today for that. Gosh. Okay. Anyways, let's get started. How's everybody doing? I know we've got some new followers on X. For some reason, when I say X, I want to say the planet X. I don't know why. Is there a planet X? I don't know, but I want to say planet X when I say X. Because I shared a video that I made a while back and it just blew up for some reason. I'm like, did no one see this the first time? So I've been retweeting some videos lately and people are like, oh, who's this? Who's this lady? What's her name? My name's Rachel. I've been doing this for years. Nobody notices. It's fine. It's okay. I like satire. I like parody. I like to call out the left. I just mimic what I see is basically what I do. And I enhance it a little bit, put a little on it. Hey guys. Hey, Janice. Good to see you. Julie, one of my supporters. What's up? How are you doing? You're watching on YouTube. I like it. We've got Ron on Facebook, Sandy on YouTube. How are you guys? Are you guys feeling good? What's the vibe? What's the vibe? I want to show you a good vibe. So I saw this last night. And I have been following Bevin Batty's, now it's Bevin Batty Williams' story. This woman, okay, I did my time in Hollywood. I was around the whole celebrity scene. And I'm not enamored anymore by humans. I don't get starstruck often. And I don't really admire many people. But Bevin Batty, I truly, she inspires me. When I watch her preach, when I watch her talk, when I've been watching her story, I'm like, this woman is walking it out. If there is ever someone that's just walking it out, it's this woman. She was thrown in prison for peacefully protesting outside of an abortion clinic. First time I saw Bevin was they were doing do you guys remember those what was it? It was back in Washington, the state of Washington. They decided to establish their own city, their autonomous city. And she went out there with her good friend and started talking to people about, the autonomy of, was it Chaz? I don't know. It was such a leftist thing to do. So these guys are like, we're gonna start our own city out here. We're separate from the rest of the world. I think it was Seattle. And so she heads out there and this video went viral of her just sharing the gospel with this woman on the street and just preaching. And I was like, who are you? And I've been following her ever since, following her story. And she was sent to prison and she's been in prison for a few months. For peacefully protesting outside of an abortion clinic. That's the Biden administration. That's what they did. They threw people that objected to the killing of innocent life in prison. I mean, that's where we were at. I don't think people understand just how dark it was under Biden. And all they did, and I think what's happening to me is as we watch us kind of go into this Trump administration, and we're watching all these pardons take place. January 6ers, we're watching all these pardons take place, and we're watching the regulation be removed, and we're watching people get fired for pushing their woke ideologies. And I'm watching all this and I'm thinking, man, it was so bad. Like it was so bad. And I think sometimes you don't really realize how bad it is until it starts to get taken away. And you do feel like, I know this is so cheesy, but you feel like you're being unburdened. Like you're being unburdened by what has been. And it's like this weight is being lifted. And it's like, man, there was such oppression taking place under the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, an invasion of your freedom of individual rights, the ability to, the right to protest, to peacefully protest, the big tech censoring us, trying to shut me down, continuously demonetizing, deplatforming, shadow banning. Like it was so bad. And I think to now we're starting to see a lot of this get removed, and you're like, man, that was ugly. Let's never do that again. Let's never go there again. So this just brought a smile to my face. Here is Bevin greeting her husband and her small child, and this should make your Friday.
Look at mama. Look at mama. Look at us.
I love it. And it's just, and I can't wait. I don't know if she's gone live yet or if she's done anything yet. But I cannot wait to hear what happened in that prison. Like I know, like if I can judge her correctly, I guarantee you she preached the word of God in that prison, and I guarantee you people got saved. I can't wait to hear it. Like I'm like, what happened? Like tell us what happened while you were in there. It's like a modern day like the disciples of the Bible, like Paul getting thrown in prison and praising God and the chains coming off, and like Peter, and like it's like this, it's happening now, and I'm excited. I'm just excited, and I can't wait to hear what happened, what went down. So I highly encourage you guys to follow her and just champion her, because that's a role model right there. That's somebody you want to. I mean, she inspires me, honestly. When a lot of people don't, I'm like, okay, yeah, but she does. What else happened? March for Life is taking place right now in Washington, D.C. I do have friends there. A shout out to all of the people that are marching for life. And it's awesome to see that Bevin, gets let out right before the March for Life. And I mean, life begins at conception. Like that's science. And we need to be protecting life and standing up for life and championing life and choosing life, right? When you choose life, you get life, right? When you choose death, there's death. There's nothing good that comes from the death, right? There's nothing good. And out of a lot of heartache can come good. And I'm just so thankful for the people that champion the pro-life agenda. We need to be speaking out and speaking up for those that cannot speak for themselves. And that is seriously what I'm all about. And we've got a president that, the pro-life justices that he put on the Supreme Court, that's just speaks volumes. So yes, that's happening today. What else just happened yesterday? I'm just running down some of these things really fast, and then we'll kind of dive into other things. But the U.S. District Judge John, I can't say his last name, Coffner. He was a Reagan appointee. He issued a ruling that sharply criticized President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. So now there's a whole debate taking place on birthright citizenship. Lots of countries do not have birthright citizenship. For some reason, the United States has been like, yeah, if you come here and you have a baby here, then bam, it's a U.S. citizen. And a lot of people, I was listening to a conservative talk yesterday, and this one woman called into the show. I can't even remember what I was listening to, but she called into the show and she said that a lot of people will come here, have their baby, then go back to their country, and then come back later as adults declaring their citizenship, even though they haven't been in the United States. They haven't assimilated to the culture. And this is the thing. Culture has a lot to do with our country, right? There is and you can tell, I mean, no, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Go to another country and you experience their culture. Go to Italy and it's a different culture than American culture. You go to Ireland, it's different culture. And when you travel, you start to see different cultures, and maintaining a country's culture, I think, is critical, and it's vital. And if it's all just nothing matters and we just are just all open borders and America's just a piece of land, then you're looking at true globalism taking place. And so there needs to be specific laws set in place on birthright citizenship. And I'm excited because this has never been discussed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has never ever ruled on it. I believe that this is going to get overturned. It's going to get flipped back and forth, and it's going to make its way all the way up to the Supreme Court, and then we'll get a ruling. And so stay tuned for that. And that's not a surprise, right? Of course, they're going to be like, and it's a Reagan appointee. Now, there's some things about Reagan I like, some things, his stance on immigration, not so much. So that's not a surprise that it was a Reagan appointee that's like, no, if you step foot in the United States, you're a citizen if you have a baby here. So I'm excited to see the ruling on that. Trump also yesterday, this is a big one, he declassified the JFK files and the MLK files on their assassinations. I mean, that's huge. So I know that the family of Martin Luther King has requested that they get to see the documents before the rest of the country. I don't know if Trump will do that, but that's going to happen soon. I don't know what will be uncovered in that. There's all sorts of conspiracies flying around. And I like a good conspiracy. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy it. I listen to a lot of conspiracy stuff just because conspiracy I found. I don't know if you guys do this, but I listen to this one show at night, and it's a radio show. It's a ton of conspiracy stuff. And every once in a while, I mean, you'll hear stuff and you're like, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, that's insane. No, that's not possible. But what I've found with a lot of conspiracy is there's like a little tiny nugget of truth wrapped around all sorts of rumors and lies. So it's like, there might be some truth in it, and then it just evolves into, it's like playing telephone, right? Do you guys remember that? Like as kids, you say something and then someone else says something and it just grows. But wait, there is an origination of like something you did say, and then it blows into more and more and more, and it just becomes completely crazy. But I do follow a lot of this stuff. We're not going to go and dive into the conspiracies that surround MLK and JFK assassinations. We'll watch and see what presents itself, and then we'll dissect it from there. But that's pretty cool. Like, that's pretty cool. And it's another promise that Trump has followed through on. I mean, okay. And now we're going to get into it. So this just to give you an idea of me. I am a skeptic, like just naturally. I don't trust a lot of people. So, and I always am trusting, like questioning motive. And I've been on the Trump train for years. I mean, if you've been following me, you know that. But with anyone, even Trump, I'm like, okay, I love what you're saying, and now let's see if we follow through on it. And I'm going to back you because I like what you're saying. I like the policies that you're saying you're going to push. So I got your back. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And you don't really know. Nobody knows what really is going to happen until things start to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're kind of like, it's a bet. You're rolling the dice. You're like, I hope they follow through. I mean, I don't know. Are they going to follow? I don't know. So I saw his speech, and my biggest concern going into Inauguration Day was, and this is because I'm just a giant skeptic, you guys. It was like, is he gonna do this whole like, let's all come together. Let's all just hold hands and in unison unite and put the past behind and just, and I was like, please don't do that speech. Like, just don't do that speech. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And he didn't do it. And I was like, slow clap. Yes. He came for him. I mean, if you were watching the speech, It had to have made so many people in that room just squirm. I mean, talk about awkward of awkward, and awkward for Trump. Because this guy is in the same room of people that literally tried to take his life, take him out. And now he's got to go in there with these people that oh my gosh, that has to have been hard. And then it had to have been hard, like awkward for the people that are like, yeah, so our plans didn't work. This is awkward. Okay, so I guess we're just, do we have a plan? Where are we on the alphabet here? We did plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Is there a K? I said I, J, K, L, M. Where are we? So it had to have been really awkward. I was worried that he was going to do some kind of unity speech. He didn't. He came for it. He brought the fire, and he just rained down. It just rained down. And here's some of it. And I was just so thankful.
Public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. Our recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
I love it. America's decline is over. Like, we're done. And then, like, as he was going through this speech and talking about like the open borders and the crime and the junk garbage in our food, like all, like, just so much of it, you're thinking, wow, like the people that were in charge really hated this country. I mean, they have no affinity for it whatsoever. And I know that people are like, yeah, obviously, Rachel, like, we know that. But like when you start to like lay out like all that they did, you're like, there's no way you could love America or love Americans. Like, it's just, you can't do what you have done and then profess to love this country and to love Americans. Like, you can't. And it was so evident in this speech, and it was fantastic. I love the entire thing. I loved Carrie Underwood coming in there and having to just roll with it. That's like some true improv talent there. And then I was going to do, the moment passed, but I was like, man, whose job was it? Like, can we just take a moment and ask, whose job was it to just press play for the music? Like, you had one job, you had one job, okay? And your job was to press play, and you couldn't do it. So I thought, I thought that was funny, and I love the way that she handled it. She just sang, and what a beautiful voice, what a beautiful talent. Like, wow. And she's gotten a lot of flack for singing it at Trump's inauguration, but I have noticed that the hate this time around is so much more just diminished than it was in 2016. If you were, and I was there, like, if you were there in 2016, I helped actually, I was a co-chair for my state and for the Trump campaign in 2016, and the vitriol and the hate that I received, that other people that were supporting Trump received, was insane. I mean, we're talking death threats. We're talking like it was irrational. I remember leading a precinct meeting for my precinct and getting into the classroom. And I don't know if you guys have attended your precinct meetings, if you're involved in the Republican Party, but the precinct meetings, like, it's very easy to be elected a precinct leader. If you're looking to do it, go. A few people show up usually, and that's bad. Like, we need more people to show up. We need more people to get involved locally in your community, have a say of what is happening locally. so I was thinking, okay, I don't think a lot of people will show up to this one, like they never do. And the room was packed, like standing room only. You couldn't even sit down, and people were so fired up. And they're like, and it was in Colorado was like a hub for Never Trump. Okay, those people have since just they've disappeared. I don't know where the Never Trumpers are now. They're all on the left, I guess. But at the time, there was a huge movement in the Republican Party that were Never Trump left, like they were Never Trump. And they were there and they were so mad. And they're like, I'm leaving the party. I'm leaving the party if Trump gets the nomination. I'm out of here. And people were screaming and yelling. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. This is nuts. Like you're my neighbor. What's wrong? Like take it down a notch. Like you just take it down a notch. And they were so mad. And then we saw Antifa during the inauguration last time, just burning stuff down. I remember my parents were out there and like a car exploded right next to them. It was crazy. So, and no celebrities. Like you wouldn't get any celebrity endorsements. No one in Hollywood. They were just all silent. Now you got some Hollywood people talking up. I wish you would have shown up earlier because it's been a battle for those of us that have been trudging through this for years. But yeah, I've noticed that too. So not as much hate, and it went smoothly. I'm very pleased that they did move it inside. I feel like that was a much safer option personally. I know that was due to weather, but I think that it was wise to move it inside. And plus I think the people that went, if you're one of the people that went, that's fantastic. I think that they had like a more intimate setting when you're in that arena and you get to see him signing executive orders. He's giving a speech. You get to see the family. If you're in the mall, like, in DC, it's so far back, you can't see anything. You're looking at like screens. So it went well. And let's move on. Right before though, Trump was sworn in, they perfectly timed this, the Biden administration. Biden decides to pardon his family. Pardons his family when he knew that Trump reached the rotunda, right? So they knew that once Trump was in the rotunda, like he was walking that way, there was no way to like really intercede or tell him what's happened. And it was funny, not funny, but it was interesting to watch because we, like you and I, we knew about the pardons. Like if, a lot of us did because it was announced when Trump is giving his speech, and then he went and he talked to another group of people. And I don't think he had anyone at that point really say, hey, Biden pardoned his whole family. It would have been interesting to see, had he known that going in, what if he would have addressed it at his inaugural speech. I'm just curious, like if he had known, would he have said something or would he try to keep it, amicable? I don't know, but he didn't know. And if you're a lefty out there, if you're a Biden supporter, you got to ask yourself, why did Biden pardon his family? He pardoned spouses, James Biden and Sarah Biden. Now we know, if you've been following the Biden's family corruption that took place since alleged corruption, I have to be careful. Whatever. That started to take place when Biden became vice president, and the shell companies that were set up, the billions and not billions, millions of dollars that switched hands, how they became insanely wealthy, all of it. I mean, all of it. Russian oligarchs involved in this, the CCP involved in all that. Like if you've been following all this, you know that James Biden was allegedly very connected. I remember there was an email that dropped a while back, a few years ago, where I think it was either Hunter or I think it was Hunter. He was requesting to the Chinese business that he was working with, can I get a set of keys? And I believe that he mentioned family members that also needed keys for this office. And if you were ever questioning, if you were ever like, I don't know, I think that these Republicans are crazy. I think the Bidens are just upstanding, fantastic people. pardoning the family might have made you give a pause. It might have just put a little pause on it for a second. And for anyone that was kind of like you knew they were corrupt, and you were like, is Joe Biden the big guy? He's the big guy. This confirmed it for me. It confirmed it for me. And it's just so smarmy and so disgusting. And it's an admission of guilt. Also pardoned Anthony Fauci. Now, if you are, I don't know, I'd be a little concerned if I was like, this is a doctor that I am going to believe. Oh, I should have downloaded this video and shown you guys. But I did a video a while back of, it literally became like during COVID that there were no other doctors. Any doctor that was a doctor became not a doctor during COVID. And we only had one doctor on the planet. And we hung at his every word. What is Fauci gonna say? Can we go outside? Can we take a shower? Can I drive my car, Dr. Fauci? Is that okay? It was so bad. I actually did a satire on it. It was so like asking permission for the most absurd. Can I talk to my spouse, Dr. Fauci? Is it safe to talk to my spouse? It was so messed up. It was just so messed up. And now this guy's been pardoned. Pardoned for what? Like, why does Fauci need to be pardoned? Like, if you're a lefty Democrat that's gotten, I don't know, you're on your 7th booster, you've got to be like, wait a minute, why does the guy that I listened to and believed everything he said, why is he pardoned? Well, like, what did he do? What did he do? Maybe you should look into it. How about lying under oath? How about definitely being connected to gain of function research? The same strand that hit the world of COVID, maybe look into that. I don't know, dive into it. There's still people that literally believe what they're told by the mainstream media. It's just like, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take, but hopefully maybe some of these Fauci people that literally made Fauci their God are saying, why? Like, what we should ask why. Why did he need a pardon? Why? And he took it. This is the thing. You don't have to take a pardon. You don't have to be like, if they're like, we're going to pardon Rachel. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, we're going to pardon Rachel. We know what you did, Rachel. We know what you did. Okay. We're going to pardon you. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. We're going to pardon you. Just don't you worry. Okay. We are going to pardon you and you're going to be fine. I'm fine. I don't need you to pardon me. I didn't do anything wrong. Rachel, we know what you did. I didn't do anything. I don't need your pardon. You take the pardon. You're basically admitting that you did something. You did something. What he did is crimes against humanity that's my opinion. But like, that's what he did in my world. Who else? Mark Milley, the guy that was, having phone chats with China, was also pardoned. What a surprise. Oh, and Liz Cheney. Good old Liz. We've done several parodies on Liz. She was pardoned as well, and she took the pardon as well. I find it interesting that all the Jan 6 documents that they had, all the research, all the stuff was just disappeared when Mike Johnson took over as House Majority Leader. Like, doesn't that give, why? Why did you have to get rid of all the information, all the documents that you obtained, all the research that you gathered? Why did you have to just why did it go missing? Why? Because once the House majority takes over, then they can start to really investigate what was the January 6th committee up to. Pardons Liz. Liz takes the pardon. And also all the police officers that just blatantly lied about January 6th. They were pardoned too. Why? Like, I'm sorry, but if you just have like you could have a tiny brain. You don't even have to have a medium-sized brain. If you have like a tiny brain, like a tiny brain, you got to say, wait a minute, why do these people need pardons? Like, you should ask yourself that question. Like, make questioning great again. Make questioning authority great again. Like, let's try it. Let's try it in 2025, lefties. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. Unbelievable. Okay. And then shortly after Trump is inaugurated, They go to Capital One Arena in DC, and there's people there, there's crowds there, and Elon Musk shows up, okay? And he does a my heart goes out to you move, and the entire world collapses. It just falls apart after that. It just is absolutely everything implodes. Here he is. Here he is.
Yeah. And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Okay, so that set the world on fire. People lost their minds. They literally lost their minds. The left, this is the thing about the left. They're terrible when it comes to creativity on the political front. Got a lot of lefties in Hollywood, create incredible work. They're talented, they're gifted. But when it comes to being lefty in politics, there's no creativity, like none. It's the same thing over and over again. You're either A, a racist, B, a misogynist, or C, a fascist Nazi. Like those are your choices. And if they don't like you, you're one of those. You're one of those three. And they just recycle them over and over and over again. Or a dictator. Sorry, we got four. So you're dictator, fascist Nazi, racist or misogynist. Like those are your choices. And I think there's got to be someone in a back room in the Democrat Party that just is like spins a wheel. They're like, what are we going with today, Frank? Okay, racist Nazi or just a misogynist dictator? Okay, let's roll it. Let's go with it. And that's what they do. Every single time. It's like, so it was Nazi. It's Nazi, Hitler, whatever. And here's the thing. Elon Musk, I know that he's a very eccentric person, okay? And he's very passionate. And people say that he struggles with Asperger's. There's been documents of that. I don't know. But I think that he was really caught up in the moment. I think that he was very passionate in the moment, and it came across maybe not perfectly well, but they took it and they ran with it. And I saw just the first clip. Like I saw just the wow, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. I was like, okay, let's and then I was like, let's find a longer clip. So I found a longer clip, and my heart goes out to you. It's like, well, there you go, people. But I had to create this because this is what the left does. Here you go. Have the wrong house. You're gonna want to go up 3 houses, and it'll be on the corner on your right. Jeez, huh? Just openly displaying your hate for the entire neighborhood to see, huh? What? Oh, we saw it. We saw the salute. We saw it. We know. What? No, I was just giving directions. Oh, yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, you are not going to talk to me like that. Okay, you're grounded. And you can go to your room, and you can wait for your dad to get home. Wow! Right in front of your child! Does your family know? What are you talking about? I was telling my son to go to his room. Oh, you did it again! What? No. I would just like to thank all of you for coming today. It really means so much to our family. Wow. I mean, it is on. You're going 2 now. No, you're mistaking all of this. What have you become? Seriously, what have you become? And that's just what they do. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of bored with it. I'm ready for some new ideas here, because it's the same thing. And I've made so many videos on racism, fascism, dictator. It's like getting old, you guys. Come up with something new. It's just played itself out at this point. It's boring. It's become very boring. So if you could just come up with something new, that would be great. Somebody wanted to know if I was live on here, because I know some people are like, I can't make my live, so I'm just going to record it and then I'm going to put it up like it's live. I'm live right now. It's me. It's happening. So you can write something and I can read it. Like Teresa just said, it's gaslighting. That's right. And Jennifer just said, it's exactly how ridiculous they are. Yes. So I am live right now. It's happening in the moment. Now, if I wasn't live, I would probably be like, hey guys, I can't make the meeting, but I'll still do a live show. I'll still play a live during this time. I'd let you know. I'll keep you posted. Okay, executive orders. We got to highlight some of these executive orders. There's so much to go through and we don't have a lot of time, but let's go through some of the big ones. Some of the favorites. Okay, we've got, and I got to put my glasses on because I'm a boomer now, according to like people that are like 10. And they're like, okay, boomer. That's what they say. That's what they say to me when they don't like my videos. They call me a boomer. I don't care, right? Whatever. Okay, let's go on. So, several executive orders. He pardoned the January 6th participants. We discussed that. That's fantastic. He issued over approximately 1,500. If you read some of these stories and you look into some of these stories, it's sick. It's so sick, again, what the Biden administration did. We're talking like older women that literally just walked into the Capitol. They weren't violent. They didn't do anything. They didn't walked in, have been in prison. When nothing was done to the rioters that took over the Summer of Love and literally burnt down cities and then just walked free. These people have been persecuted to the just insane extent. And this is what really bothers me, because it's just the abuse of power, right? And this is why we limit power. This is why we champion limiting power, because you cannot give this much power to government. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You give these people more power, they will wield it. Something happens with people that are given too much power. They like lose their crap. They think they're like, suddenly they're like, yes. And they think they can do whatever they want and nobody's stopping them. And they like get that crazed look in their eyes. They're like, no, limit power. We cannot allow our government to grow and grow and grow. It's like creating a monster. Why would you do that? Every single person that has a brain should champion limiting the role of government. Every single time. Should the government? No. Can we expect? No. No. It's a no. It's a no, no, no. So that's a big one. Jan Sixers. Withdraw from international agreement. He signed orders to withdraw the United States from the Paris Climate Accord and the World Health Organization. These actions were aimed at reversing previous commitments to global climate and health initiatives. Fantastic. Both corrupt as can be. This is another thing. And we're going to talk about this in a second, because I am going to touch on this one executive order that I'm like, I'm not a fan of that one. And I think I got to address it because that's what I do. People with power, they always, and people that desire power and control, there's always a fear element involved. Always. There's always a fear element involved. So remember that, like, oh, the planet's going to explode. If you don't give us more power, the planet's going to blow up. So I think you should give us more power. If you don't give us more power, then everyone's going to get sick and die of a national pandemic. If you don't give us more power, there's always fear involved. So always be aware of that. Okay. And we're going to discuss that a little bit in a few minutes. Border and immigration policies. He declared a national emergency on the U.S. border, allowing for military deployment to enhance border security. He ended catch and release. They used to just catch these people and then release them into the country. What? Yes, they were doing that. Oh, they're like, oh, you're a criminal? Oh, you're a criminal? You killed some people? You killed some people? Oh, all right, that's cool. I'm going to catch you and then I'm just going to release you into the country. I'm going to release you into the United States. That's what they were doing. I'm not exaggerating. That's what was happening. It's insane. It's crazy. An order was signed to end birthright citizenship. We talked about that too. So that's going to it's going to work its way up to the Supreme Court. We'll keep an eye on that. Environmental and energy policies. He declared a national energy emergency at boosting fossil fuel production and rolling back environmental regulations. If you go to a live that I did a couple weeks ago, I really hit on, and I did a video on everything that has petroleum, literally everything. And you get these environmentalists that are like, we need to get rid of oil. We need to get rid of oil. That's like getting rid of everything, okay? So before you go there, let's find a solution. Let's find something that can supplement. There's a thought. So we're going to start drilling. Good. He revoked Biden's executive order at aiming for half of all new vehicles sold in 2030 to be electric. Here's the thing. Again, it's about control. Most electric cars, I think you guys can fact check me on this, but there's a kill switch, right? They can shut your car down. Shut it down. We don't like what you said on Facebook, Rachel. And you're driving an electric car, and you're just done. You're done driving. We're taking your right to drive away. They want you in electric cars. They want to be able to control you. And they probably could do that. I mean, I know that a lot of like gas guzzling cars are electrical. What you want to do is probably get something from like the 1970s or earlier. But it's all about control. It all stems from control. Remember that. So now they're not going to tell you what kind of car you have to drive. Wow, what a thought. It's like, I'm sorry, who are you to tell me what kind of car I can drive? I am a bureaucrat from Washington, D.C., and I have decided that what kind of car you should drive. No, you're not going to tell me what kind of car I can drive. I'm going to tell you what kind of car you should drive. Who are you? I mean, well, we got to start asking these questions. I'm sorry, who are you? I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm going to tell you what car you should drive. No, you're not. It's comical when you really think about it. And it's comical that people that just go along with it, they're like, okay, so I can't drive the car I'm driving now. I have to drive a new one. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, okay, I'll do what you say. I mean, don't give these people any more power. Don't listen to them. I'm amazed at the people that just listen. I really am. I don't want to say like I have like a rebellious streak in me, but I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Okay. Like, just don't. I don't answer to you. You're not my boss. Anyways, government operations instituted a federal hiring freeze with exceptions for military, immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety. So we're just going to slow it down. We're going to slow down the hiring of all this. Excellent. They reclassified classified thousands of federal employees as political hires, facilitating their potential removal, which is great because you look at DC, it's just a bunch of lefties, man. They're just full-blown commies at this point, and and this is the problem. Like a lot of this, they get these government jobs, and this is the thing. It should not be hard to fire someone in government, and that all that red tape needs to be removed. Like, I'm sorry, like. A lot of these people are like, I got a government job and it's impossible now to get fired. I can pretty much do whatever I want. It shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. And that needs to change. Social media and free speech. An executive order was signed to temporarily suspend a law banning TikTok for 75 days. We'll see how that plays out. Other orders. Restored federal death penalty. Good. And people are like, well, Rachel, you're pro-life. Like, you're pro-life and you support the death penalty. Are you really pro-life? Yeah, I am really pro-life because the baby in the womb is innocent. Baby in the womb hasn't done anything. A baby in the womb hasn't killed other people. People on death row have killed other people. They've done really horrible, vile, sick, evil, beyond your worst nightmare things. Okay, there's a difference. Baby in the womb, innocent human. Person on death row, not innocent human. I don't know why this even has to be explained, but some people just can't. They don't get it. They're like, okay. Other orders. Created the Department of Government Efficiency, we've been following that. I am hearing that Vivek Ramaswamy is not going to be with Doge. The rumors of him running for governor in Ohio, I don't know if that's true or not. Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Heard that, and also heard that some people were pretty upset with the way he talked about American culture in one of his tweets. I was one of those people. I completely disagree with it. So I don't know, but he's not on the Doge train. So from what I've heard, now you guys, that could have changed while I'm on here. People are like, you're totally incorrect on that, Rachel. But that's what I heard. So we'll see. Maybe he is, maybe he's back on it. Maybe that's just a rumor, but that's something I heard. I don't want to spread rumors. Okay. Let's see here. Another one. This is the one I want to talk about. And I got to hurry. Stargate. So another one, Stargate is an initiative by President Trump. It's a major private sector investment. So it's not taxpayer money. It's a bunch of billionaires gathering to bolster artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. Here are their key aspects of this initiative. The investment Stargate involves a commitment. They're saying $500 billion. Elon Musk is saying they don't have that kind of money. That's just a wild, absurd number. But supposedly, I did hear that they had at least $10 billion to invest over the next 4 years. An initial investment is being set. I don't know. Okay, so the partners. It's got OpenAI, which is Sam Altman. You got SoftBank, you got Oracle which is I think it's Larry Ellison, and MGX, and Maya Shoney's son from SoftBank will serve as the chairman of Stargate. Key technology partners include ARM, Microsoft, that's Bill Gates dabbling in that, and NVIDIA, which will contribute to the development and operation of AI computing systems. They expect to create jobs. I don't, okay. And we keep hearing that we're going to create jobs with this. Well, what kind of jobs? Like, tell me what kind of jobs, because I know, having a loved one very embedded in the tech world, tech industry, that deals with AI, saying AI is taking over. People are losing jobs. So what jobs are being created? Are they just going to monitor the AI? And how many people does that take? So I like specifics on this, because I keep hearing it's going to create so many jobs. Like what? Just name one. Just one. I just want to know. It's so many. It's going to create so many jobs, huh? Like okay, let's just lay out some of the jobs it's going to create, because I see it taking jobs. That's just my take. Okay. Also, I don't want to live in Terminator world. I just don't. I like Linda Carter out there. I don't want to do that. So I have this like old school mentality about AI and AI technology and where this eventually leads, especially from a biblical point of view, you guys. I'm like, okay, like, are we there? Is this happening? Are we just gonna, okay. And I know eventually it does. Okay. I know eventually we're going to get there. I'm kind of dragging my feet. Like, I don't want, like, I'm just not, I understand having to compete with China on AI. Totally understand that. You can't let these guys be all advanced in AI, taking over things, like just totally. And we're like, we just don't want to dabble in it. So we're just not gonna, because that puts us in a very vulnerable place as a nation. So I'm like, okay, I understand we got to compete. I get it. I got it. Okay. But like today, I asked Grok, like, is there a one true God? And no, like AI, there's no affinity for humans. There's no belief in God. And that's where I'm like, this is getting a little weird. Right. And a lot of these billionaires, it's like, I feel like it's like a creation of their own God kind of a thing. And there is one true God, and he does have an opinion. And the one thing that does give me peace with the advancement of AI and all this technology is God sees it all. He sees it all. Like he's outside of time. He's like, okay, I see what happens here. I see what happens here. And this is where I'm going to get him. This is where I'm going to intervene. I do believe that, that it's going to pick up. It's going to get more and more. I mean, obviously, technical. The thing is, a lot of these billionaires have been given incredible amount of control to kind of like steer this AI. And when you listen to some of them talk, I'm like, what? Like here's Sam Altman. Just give me your opinion on this.
I still expect, although I don't know what, and this is over a long period of time. This is not a like next year or, you know, the year after that kind of thing. But over a long period of time, I still expect that there will be some change required to the social contract, given how powerful we expect this technology to be. I'm not a believer that there won't be any jobs. I think we always find new things to do. But I do think like the whole structure of society itself will, you know, be up for some degree of debate and reconfiguration.
Okay, so did you hear what he said? He said there will be some kind of social contract. Did you hear that? Like that's social credit scoring, you guys. Like that's, let me remove, because we just stared at him. I forgot to remove it from the screen. Like that's social credit stuff right there, right? And I don't like it. I don't like it. And then I also heard, is it Larry Ellison, I think his name is, and he's Oracle, I believe. I heard him talking, and he was talking about, okay, now we're going to take mRNA technology. We're going to mix it in with some AI, and we're going to be able to locate cancer and what cancer you might be prone to. And then we're going to inject you with an mRNA vaccine to go after that cancer. And it's going to make you live forever. You're going to live forever. Like, I know that cancer has impacted everyone on here. There's no one on here that's not lost someone or known someone that was taken by cancer. But we're not intended to live physically in these bodies forever. We're just not. We're just not. We live in a fallen world. We live in a sinful world. And because of that, there's sickness and disease, right? That's just inevitable until Jesus comes back. But like I said earlier, in order to be able to be controlled, in order to be able to be manipulated, in order for the powerful to do what they want you to do, there's always fear. Always. We went through COVID together, guys. They're like, everyone's dying. We got people in body bags. It's terrible. Like, it was crazy, right? And don't come near us. 6 feet apart. It was all fear. It was all fear-induced. And now, hey, if you don't let us inject you with this mRNA vaccine, you're probably going to die from cancer. I'm just laying it out. Or if you don't let us inject your kids, they probably could, die from cancer. And would you ever forgive yourself if your child got cancer and you could have done something? I mean, fear. And I don't like fear. I don't like fear. Fear is not from God, right? God says, the Bible says, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. That's peace, right? Peace that passes all understanding. So we're not to be motivated by fear. Anybody that's trying to get you to do something based on fear, get them out of your life. Seriously. No. I'm not going to be operated by fear. I'm not going to be motivated by fear. And I'm not going to make decisions based on fear. Where there is peace, right? That is where you follow the peace, right? The peace that passes all understanding. That is Jesus. And he will guide you and he will give you a perfect peace in the midst of all of this fear and, you're going to die from this, or you're going to die from this, or just shut it out. Be still and know that he is God, and we are not to have a spirit of fear. So any of these big tech billionaires walking around telling you got to do this because this is going to happen to you. If you don't, shut it. Shut it. No. But we got to watch. We're going to watch this develop. We're going to watch it. I did find this interesting, though. If you are on X, there's a little bit of rift going on between Sam Altman and Elon Musk. They don't seem like they like each other. I could be reading it wrong, but I'm not feeling the love. not feeling the love. So I wonder if Musk will weigh in on this, and who's involved in all this. I mean, some of these guys, I don't know. I feel like they're like these villains that are like, and we're going to put them in charge of AI. I'm like, let's just we'll see. What do I know? I do got to give a shout out to these guys. I partnered with them. They're called Patriot Protect. And I was on the phone with them last week discussing just what they do. They're a small conservative company, but they provide protection for you guys. I don't know if you can get on the internet, you Google yourself. And then for me, it's like, and your address, your name, your middle name, what you had for breakfast last week on Tuesday. And like everything is just like, it's all recorded on the internet. And you're like, why? I don't want that on the internet. I don't know. No. Well, these guys go in and they like erase you off the internet. I'm not kidding you. They erase you off the internet. And with this AI technology and how it's all getting crazy and it's advancing and you want some privacy. I don't know. I do. I don't want you up in my business. I don't need you up in my business. I need some privacy. And these guys provide it. They're Patriot Protect. They identify threats. They neutralize risks. They continue to monitor. They stop scammers. The IRS calls, fake calls, Medicare fraud, tech fraud, scams, phishing emails, all of it. They with a I think it's like a limited amount of money a month. It's not, I think it's like $5 or $6 or something like that. It's not a lot. They are constantly scanning the internet for you. Like, are you like, okay, get that off of there. They don't want that on there. They don't want that on there. And I partner with them because I love that. I'm like, we need more privacy. We don't need more like, hey, I'm over here, everybody, come to my house. Like, you don't want that. I don't need you coming to my house. Okay. So you can go to their website, Patriot Protect. I got to get a better slide than this, but I will show you. Just you can go there, patriot/protect.com/conservative mama, and you enter code word mama and you get 15% off. So check them out. I really enjoyed discussing with them. Just strong guys, man. Love the country. Are done with being like completely tracked by entities we don't even know are tracking us, right? Like, I don't know who's watching me or looking at me. I don't know. And so we need some privacy. So check them out. They're Patriot Protect. You can get 15% off with the code word MAMA, MOMMA. A lot of people spell it MAMA, like MAMMA. But it's MAMA. I did it a long time ago. MOMMA, and you can enter that code word, get 15% off. Check them out, support them. We need to be supporting other small conservative, and I don't think they're that small, but they're growing rapidly. Other conservatives, right? That champion and believe the same stuff we do. So check them out. Okay. Also, a couple other things that happened this week. Firings. The Coast Guard commander, Linda Fagan, was just terminated for prioritizing DEI ahead of border security. Good. DEI programs, totally chucked. Trump signed an executive order aiming at ending DEI programs with the federal government. This orders specifically targeted diversity training, all of this just woke stuff that we're wasting time on. Federal employees in DEI roles were directed to be placed on paid administrative leave, with agencies required to submit plans for reduction in force regarding these employees. So just we're gutting it. Like, enough. We're done with the woke garbage and basing everything off of gender and color of your skin. I mean, we just celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, MLK Day. Like, can we go back to judging people on the content of their character? Like, can we do that? And it looks like that's where we're heading. So fantastic. Trump's administration has explicitly aimed to terminate all DEI programs across America, arguing that they are Marxist and against the merit system. Fantastic. Another thing that happened, and we got to wrap this up. Oh my gosh, we don't have time. We're already an hour. Is the woke bishop. I was entertained by the woke. This woke bishop shows up the day after. So they all have a fantastic inauguration. They go to the balls, they dance, they enjoy themselves. And then they show up, or they show up to a church service, and you got this woke lady that is far lefty, basically gives some, I can't even show the whole thing. It's her voice. I thought about doing a parody of her. It might still need to be done if she continues to be championed by the left. I mean, if this is the person, they're like, yeah, this is our lady, we're going to get behind her. Then we might have to do it.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in...
Okay, I can't listen to her. It's like, oh, it's not God. That wasn't God talking. I'll say that much. And she said that there are trans children and gay and lesbian children. This is what's happened to the entire church, and I don't have a lot of time to start going for it here because we're at our time limit. Where are we? What else do I have here? Yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff. But I will say this, and then we're gonna move on. The church has become so weak. The Christian church, my goodness, people. Like, we're not preaching the gospel anymore. It's become some woke, feel good, pat yourself on the back, and everybody, wallow in your sin, lay in it, roll around in it, and you still, God just loved you so much. And that's not the gospel. Why did Jesus come? He came to set us free from sin and death. That's the whole point of Jesus coming to this earth. And we've got pastors and preachers and priests that are not preaching biblical scripture. Okay? Yes, we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Yes, we need a savior. Yes, it's Jesus. And yes, he will set you free from your sin. And the incredible thing about the power of Jesus is you can be set free from sin. I've seen it time and time again in my life. You can be set free from it. You don't have to stay in it. Jesus told the woman that was about to be stoned to go and sin no more. We do not. Yes, you can come as a sinner, but don't stay one. Come with your sin, but don't stay in it. And the problem with preachers today, the problem with priests today, the problem with these bishops today is they're not preaching scripture. And if you really love people, if you really, really care about them, and you really want their soul to be eternally saved, then you tell them, you got to get right with God. Because we serve a mighty, holy God, and he cannot be in communion with somebody that's walking and staying in their sin. He can't. He's holy. There's none like him. He's Alpha. He's Omega. He's the beginning. He's the end. There's none like him. He is righteous. He is so much bigger and greater and almighty than anything we could even fathom as tiny humans. And he cannot embrace the sin. It cannot be in his presence. So he sent his son to set you free from that sin. Like, that's what people got to get. And that's what we're not hearing in the church. And people are going to church and they're not hearing the gospel. That woman is not preaching the gospel. And I'll tell you this. If you are going to church and you're not being convicted, then you're not in a good church. Because I'll tell you, I go to church and I will have the Holy Spirit say, Rachel, you got to work on that. You got to work on that. You got to work on that. And that is conviction. And conviction is so good. That's how much God loves us. He loves us enough to convict us. He loves us enough to say, hey, get this out. Clean it out. Get it out of your life. Don't dabble in it anymore. I set you free from that. You don't have to go back to it. I can empower you to overcome it through me. Embrace me. And that is That's what we got to hear. That's what people need to hear. And if you love people and you care about their eternal souls, then you got to preach the gospel. And we're not hearing it. And it breaks my heart. And yes, you've got to have some uncomfortable conversations. Yes. And it's hard. It's hard. Or are you saying that these people, are you saying that this child, are you saying, I'm going to come back to scripture. It's not me. It's what the Bible says. It's what scripture says. It's what Jesus said. Well, Jesus didn't necessarily. Jesus was with God in the beginning. Okay. It was in the beginning was the word. Okay. Jesus is the word became flesh. That's Jesus. He's been with God, the Trinity, all since the beginning. And he made it very clear what was sin. And if you love people enough and you care about them enough, then you're willing to speak the truth. And it's very difficult to do. But hopefully you love them enough that you care about them enough to speak the truth. And I'll be honest, when I was younger, I was afraid to. I was. You caught me in college, you know, heavy into the theater world I was. I can tell you all sorts of the stuff and people I encountered. And I wish I would have been bolder back then. I wish I could, you know, and I think like as you advance in your walk with God, he empowers you more to be bold. Like we're to wax bold. That's what Paul said. Wax boldly in your faith, man. Don't be weak in it. Be bold in it. And I think as we age, that's why I'm so inspired by people like Bevin Batty and other young people that are just like, I'm bringing it, man. Life is short. We don't have a lot of time. I'm going to tell you the truth. And now I feel like, you know, I've grown in my faith and it's like, well, Rachel, there's not a lot of time. Like, just be real. And if you love people, you got to be real. You got to be honest with them. And I'm sure this just upset a lot of people, but you know, I can't, I'm not here to be liked. I can't. If it's just to get praise from people, then what is this about? All right, that's what I got on that. And I got to wrap it up here really quick. Trump did talk to the World Economic Forum. He basically laid it out, just totally laid it out. We're not gonna jump on this globalist train anymore. We're not doing it. We're not participating in it. America first, which is fantastic. He also talked to Putin, which is shocking to the left because I thought that Trump and Putin were best friends. Like what happened? I thought they were best friends. I thought they actually shared the he had one of the necklaces that said BEFRI, and then Trump had the other half of it. I really thought they were best friends. No, obviously not. They're not best friends. Trump laid it out. He said, we got to end this. If we don't end this, Putin, we're gonna tariff. We're gonna tax you guys. It's time for it to end. So we'll see how that develops. And Putin, I think I heard this morning that he's open to talks, open to negotiations. So fantastic. And okay, let's wrap it up with this on a positive note, a happy, joy note, because it's Friday. And something else that Trump did is he signed an executive order requiring federal employees to return to in-person work, with exceptions to be made by department heads. So that means that if you're a federal employee, you have to go back to work. And there's meltdowns happening all over the place. And this is a throwback. I made this a while ago and people rediscovered it. But this is happening all over right now because of this executive order.
I'm hearing that they're gonna make us start coming to work, like going into work, like leaving home and going in. Like I'm gonna have to get dressed and drive there. I'm gonna have to deal with traffic. I mean, the stress that this is gonna cause me. I'm not gonna be able to watch The View when it comes on. I'm going to have to wait till I get home after work and watch it. And lunch. Do I have to pack a lunch now? I mean, come on. I may just quit. I think that's going to be the only option, is just to quit.
So there you go. And I think some people will probably quit. I mean, here's the deal, because some people are upset about it. They're like, there's nothing wrong with remote work. I get so much done when I'm at home, that even more than when I'm at the office. Because when I'm at the office, people are interrupting me and they're coming up to my desk and they're asking me questions. And then there's coworkers that want to go out to lunch, and I can't get anything done. So I get so much more done when I'm at home. Okay. Here's the deal. If you were hired to go into work initially, like you got hired and they're like, okay, it's 5 days a week or 4 days a week, you got Fridays off, or, we're going to do a hybrid thing, and you agreed to it. And then COVID hit, because this is what happened. Like, COVID hit and people are like, you don't have to come in anymore. And then they've just been staying out still. Sorry. Like, you took a job where you were required to initially go into work, and you should be required to go to work. I can't even believe this is like, yes, you took a job that required you to come in, COVID hit, and then you just thought like, okay, now forever, we're just not going to go back into the office again. And people are like, why? Why did he do that? Well, because the federal government is spending billions and billions of dollars a year on empty buildings. Billions of dollars a year on empty buildings. Either the federal government sells those buildings to a private entity of some kind, great. But while we're funding it as taxpayers, people should be in the buildings. It's common sense. So that's my take on it. I know it's going to upset some people. That's okay. We don't all have to agree on everything. Isn't that great too? Let's do that again. Can we do that this year in the Trump presidency? Can we have a like where you can agree on something and I can agree on something and we can agree to disagree? Because that's just been absent for the last 4 years. I mean, my goodness, like if you disagreed on something, you couldn't even be in the same room with someone. It was like, you're not invited to Thanksgiving dinner because we disagree on politics. Can we just end that? Like, that'd be great. So I know that there's a debate on whether you get more done at home or whether you don't. But if you are hired to come into work and they're telling you need to come back, pull up your big boy pants, put a smile on your face, head to work. Okay. So, all right, that's it. I'm over on time. I tried to get these done in like an hour, but we went a little over. How's everybody doing? Good? Was it good? Was it not good? I don't know. What do you want more of? Let me know. I try, and there's still, I don't think I even covered half of what happened this week. That's a rundown of what I could cover. I'm sure there's more stuff going down. But yeah, that's a wrap. And that's end scene. I'm thankful for you guys. I appreciate you all. I'm going to drop let's drop a couple things. I'm going to drop this one in there. It's the Patriot Protect program. If you want privacy, if you just don't want people snooping up on you, creeping up on your business and finding you on the internet. And they're like, oh, that's where she lives. Go to these guys and check them out. Patriot Protect right there. I dropped it in and you guys can go there. Just check them out. And then also I do want to throw in my Patreon, because with free speech, not free speech, I don't know what's going on. We have free speech right now. I feel like it's going well. I could be wrong. And at any point, they're like, we don't like what you're saying, Rachel. Like we liked you, and now we don't like you. So we're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it. I need the support. I need people to support me. Shout out to Norm. Thank you so much for that. Awesome on YouTube. But if you'd like to support, you can throw in $1, $2, whatever, once a month, and it keeps me going. It keeps the satire. It keeps this going. And yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. That's what we got. And thank you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate your shares. I know sharing the videos, sharing the satire. It really it's a blessing to me, and I'm thankful. for all of you. I really am. And, you know, here we go. I'm excited. It's what is it? Cautiously optimistic is how I feel. Like, you know, because I am a natural skeptic, and I'm excited for what I'm seeing so far. And I do feel like we have been unburdened. We're being unburdened. So let's hope it continues. And wishing you all a great week, a weekend. Spend some time with the ones you love. Be present with them, and keep praying for this country. All right, you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.